What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about a few things. The first thing I want to talk about is the situation with wearing face masks and being racially profiled, as it was reported by the real, men of color, black men. Um, but yeah, there was this situation that happened with two black men going into Walmart with face mask on because of the current public health crisis, right? And the way that the men are saying it is like they were asked to leave because they wouldn't identify themselves or present ID to the police officer in there. Um, the police department said that they never asked them to leave. They did ask them to identify themselves. So nevertheless, people are saying like this is a situation of racial profiling, right? And I heard about this situation first from The Real, that TV show, The Real, and they spoke about it, of course. And for one thing, a bit of a side note here, Adrian has said, she's and her husband will eventually have kids, and she may have a black son. Y'all think Adrian and her husband, who's biracial, part black, part white, are going to have a black son? If they have a daughter, yeah, their daughter will be black for sure, right? But another situation for another day. But yeah, they spoke about it on The Real and whatnot. And, Amanda Stills, of course, took the position of defending the black men. As I did, I think pretty much everyone. I think Lonnie Love low key was trying to low key cape for the cops, perhaps low key. But y'all been called out Lonnie saying she a mammy for white men though. You know. But so yeah, that's what kind of like happened, corresponded on The Real. Um, you know, Jeannie Mai was supportive as well. As y'all know, Jeannie Mai, she is going to be marrying into the black family, and she's going to be a black queen pretty soon, y'all. If y'all ain't know that, you heard it first here. But seriously, but even Tamara, who usually doesn't really like to speak about racial issues because she doesn't want to upset her white daddy in her bag. So she tends to stay quiet about it because that's who she got to come home to. You know, Billy and Brad ain't gonna be listening to Shaquita talk about Black Lives Matter and rather white supremacy all goddamn day, and Tamara knows that. You know, but yeah, Tamara was supportive as well. But yeah, this happened in a Walmart in Illinois, by the way, and I don't know exactly when this happened. And then I'm not sure because they said like this may have happened before they put in the order for people to start wearing like face masks out in public. And, maybe the police officers thought that they looked suspicious, even though they were wearing hospital face masks, though. Even if there wasn't a public health crisis at hand, there's people, I've seen people on occasions wearing, you know, face mask out and about. They could just themselves have a cold and they don't want to spread it. Like in Japan, for instance, that's kind of like part of the culture. Like when you're out and about and you are, sick, you wear a face mask. You know, again, we're not in Japan, but I'm just saying. Some people do that in the United States as well, and some people may have allergies or whatnot. It's this, that, and the third, right? Uh, but on the other hand, though, I thought black folks couldn't contract the virus. I thought black people were immune to the virus. I thought that it was melanin magic, baby. Right? Isn't that what folks have been pushing? I mean, I'm telling you, y'all get way too carried away with this melanin magic stuff. I mean, melanin is magical and it is beautiful and all that good stuff, and I agree, but you know, you got to get out of la la land too. Like, just because you are, darker than 1001 midnights doesn't mean that you are immune to a virus. You know, In fact, from what I've been hearing, I've heard that the virus has been affecting a lot of black and brown folk. You know, and I think from what they've been saying, it's because of pre-existing medical issues and medical conditions that probably aren't being um, properly managed and controlled and maintained, like, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, you know, asthma, things like that. And I think that is a big factor in all of this, that folks aren't really speaking about as much. And I know that when it comes to like healthcare and things like that, there are, you know, historical issues that may make black people a bit hesitant to seek proper healthcare, you know, that have happened in the past, and as well as, money being an issue as well, like having, affording good insurance, that you can use to get proper health care and things like that. But yeah, but I haven't really heard many, if any, black male celebrities advocating against, the situation that happened at Walmart and, just in general. I haven't really seen any black men coming out and defending, those black men who felt that they were racially profiled at Walmart. Um, but you notice though, right? Wasn't it just a few months ago? Heck, not even a few, well, probably, yeah, a few months ago, these same black male celebrities were going crazy in defense of Kobe Bryant, though, right? Y'all remember that, right? You know, Auntie Snoop, Aunt 50 Cent, you know, Sister Michael Jordan and Sister Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah. Man, maybe I shouldn't do Shaquille O'Neal like that. But you get what I'm saying, though. These niggas, they came out and showed out for Kobe Bryant, right? To defend him and to advocate for him and his legacy and things like that. And that's fine. That's fine. People can have interests, interests, um, and concerns outside of, the black community and black issues and all that stuff. People can have other concerns, right? But notice that these dudes, they ain't really coming out and speaking on behalf of the men that are in their collective, but maybe because they think that, oh, they got money, it's not a big, like, they ain't really connected to the black dude on Main Street as much, right? Because they got a lot of money, right? Even though some of these dudes like Snoop and 50 came straight from Main Street, the hard Main Streets, goddamn, of um, New York or LA or whatever place they came from. But yeah, again, notice though, right? And again, notice again with the whole, I hate to bring this up again, but the whole situation that, folks was coming after Gail full force, again. But I think when it comes to those situations, people are followers and follow trends. And at that moment, it was on trend to cape for Kobe Bryant and to go after Gail. All right. But enough about that BS. That bullshit. Let's move on to another topic here, and that is 21 Savage shouting out dark-skinned women in a song. And you know the dark-skinned women came up and started singing 1,001 Black King songs. The Black King likes the dark-skinned sisters. Man. the Black King likes the chocolate sisters. Woo-hoo, yeah. Woo-hoo. I praise him. Yes. Just acting like they ain't used to having shit. And that's the thing. I think that, it's sad to say, but I don't think they are used to having shit. Again, the ones who are engaging in the activity. If you ain't doing it, then it ain't about you. If it don't apply, let it fly. But the women who are acting like acting like a nigga ain't never gave them a compliment or something. Maybe it's true. Acting like a nigga ain't never bought them shit. Maybe it's true. Acting like a nigga never proposed to them. Maybe it's true. But yeah, but it really goes to show that the bar, if there even is a bar, it's set really, really low. Like really low, like 6 feet into the dirt low. God damn it. And even still, these niggas are tripping on the bar somehow. It's 6 feet in the dirt, mind you. And they're walking 6 feet above it, but somehow they managed to trip over the damn bar. They can't even, get past the bar for some reason. And another thing to bring up here is, and I'll pose this question: would a phenotypic black man, would a phenotypic black man get excited and sing 1,001 Black Queen songs because a phenotypically black woman who's famous and a singer or a celebrity shouted them out in a song or wherever, really? Do you think they would get really excited about that? Like say Kelly Rowland saying, coming out saying, she love her dark-skinned chocolate kings, right? And the thing is, Kelly Rowland probably does. Even though I don't think she's ever announced it per se. I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with Kelly Rowland's songs like that. But I don't, based on her dating history though, probably so, So if she came out and announced it, I think it'll be like, oh, that's what's up. But I don't think black men would be going hooping and hollering over it because they're just used to it. It's not anything different or new, right? Again, like if Normani came out and, did something similar, I don't think black men would be throwing a parade because Normani wants the dark skinned one. Heck, if Meg Thee Stallion did something like that. But then I gotta remember what happened to Meg Thee Stallion back in February though, right? When Meg Thee Stallion looked like she was going off script though, right? Black men and black women came at Meg Thee Stallion when they thought she was dating and fucking G-Eazy. Like, that's the thing though. Black men and black women were on the same page about that. Black men had black women support on that. And they got Meg Thee Stallion together, right? And she came out and said she ain't fucking G-Eazy. Y'all need to chill with that shit, right? But when it's flipped around and the black dude is the one who's dating out or accused of dating out or whatever, usually some black women are left on their own to call out the dude. They don't really get the support of black men in that regard, right? And heck, even other black women will not support as strongly and even go against them and say, hey, he can date who he wants to date. Black men aren't obligated to date black women, things like that. But it just goes to show you how things really flow and go in this community when it is concerned about, you know, desirability and treatment of, say, darker skinned black men and just black folk, or black men versus darker skinned black women in this regard. But I do think that this is a topic, I think this is a situation rather, that black women kind of play a part in terms of black women playing a part in their own marginalization within their own community. I think this is something that black women to an extent play into themselves under the guise of being pro-black and down. Just because you're riding the blackest dick that ever existed in the universe does not mean that you are necessarily pro-black. If that was the case, then the Kardashians would be extremely pro-black. They would be the most pro-black women, this side of the United States, or that side of the United States, right? But that's just one aspect of it. And as well, I do think that that is a very lazy aspect of being pro-black. Just fuck niggas. That's all there is to it. And to be fair, I don't think black women are completely just settling on that. But, that's an aspect of that. Just like sometimes black men think that they can fight white supremacy by fucking white supremacy, which I think is a lazy aspect too, like, oh, you think you just gonna fuck white supremacy away and create biracial children that will claim as black. Yeah, you show white supremacy, right? It's just black people being lazy and just thinking they can fuck, suck, lick, and stick their way out of white supremacy and the system of white supremacy, I should say. And it doesn't work like that. All right. And another thing to bring up, these black men, they wouldn't probably get as excited if Kelly Rowland, Normani, or Meg Thee Stallion shouted them out in the song versus if, say, Katy Perry shouted them out in the song, or Shakira shouted them out in the song, or J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez shouted them out. Hell, or even like Doja Cat and Camila Cabello shouted them out in the song. How they was going after Doja Cat because she would be, for these colorist niggas, she would be their ideal, right? But she wasn't going down the typical light-skinned biracial girl lane and talking about she want a deep dark black cane, right? So folks like we gotta them colorist niggas especially was like, nah, we gotta withdraw support from that hoe. We can't be supporting that hoe. Oh, she don't like niggas like that. No, right? And also that just goes to show you that you shouldn't be letting these niggas shame you from withdrawing your support when niggas don't support and date women who look like you. But that goes back to self-esteem and self-worth, and I do think that is an issue that many black women are still dealing with and trying to work through, or at least some black women are trying to work through that and trying to deal with that, because the community, I don't really think it sets itself up to have black women, especially black women who are phenotypically black and darker than a paper bag, to be of high self-esteem. I don't think the community truly sets it up like that. I could be wrong. But that's another story for another day, though. But yeah, imagine if like Shakira shouted them out in a song, like, oh, she want a chocolate poppy, or something like that. They'd be going crazy over that shit, right? Or Jennifer Lopez talking about she want a thug, from the block, some shit like that. Katy Perry singing about, um, you know, she never worn white and shit. And, she can sing about, oh, she wants to wear white next to her black king or some shit like that. Well, if that's gonna happen, that ain't gonna happen, Katie. And also, it's like, these women, some of them, if they're non-black, they'll date black men on the come up, or if they have came down, you know, like if shit ain't popping off for them like it used to, right? Like Katy Perry, for instance, she dated a dude who was the lead singer of Gym Class Heroes way back when. She dated him, and he was like biracial, part black, part white. Since then, I haven't seen Katy Perry dating any like black men or black adjacent men. Nah, it's been white men ever since, right? But at that time, she was on the come up, right? Same thing with Jennifer Lopez. I haven't seen Jennifer Lopez dating niggas since P. Diddy, right? Sure. The closest thing we got right now would be like um, Alex Rodriguez. I guess he's like Dominican, so he probably is at least part black somewhere. And Jennifer Lopez herself is probably part black somewhere, considering, where they come from, like that Hispanic Caribbean thing going on, right? Um, but yeah, and Camila Cabello, she has a song with the baby, and I've seen them perform the song. I've seen the video, and I've seen them perform the song, and I think low key she sets it up so that, or either she sets it up or her staff or team sets it up that they don't really have a lot of like close chemistry going on, And that's why I think Camila Cabello is dating Shawn Mendes at this time too. Um, so yeah, I say all of that to say that if those women shouted out black men in a song, it would be like hooping and hollering. That's what's up, what's up, what's up, right? But if Kelly Rowland, Normani, and Meg Thee Stallion and others like them did it, it would be not as big of a deal. Partially because they are used to it so much from women like them. It's not anything new, but from women like Katy Perry, Shakira, J-Lo, Camila Cabello, and even Doja Cat, it would be more something new, right? And as I said, black women, they hype these dudes up so much that they think that sometimes they think that like their status in the black community can transfer over to other communities, like other communities of women, or even that their status is international. Nah, nah, right? Nah. Like they, that's why, in the comment section, there'll be some nigga coming through and saying, oh, black men are the most desirable men in the world. God damn it. Every woman wants to experience the big black nigga dig attack, baby. Right. And I'm like, well, first of all, I think these niggas may be watching too many episodes of Blacked, first of all. Right. You know. Hell, even in that industry, there are some women who won't even work with black men. Right. Even in that industry, right? And if they do work with black men, they make sure to command a higher rate for working with black men in that industry. Particularly white women can do that, all right? So let's kind of be real about this. I know that, the mammies, picnies, and mules, think that the black kings are everything. And, the black kings, because of that, think that they are everything too, And it just ain't like that, right? Because when it comes to like the dating scene and things like that, I'm sure penis size is something that is on women's minds and women may think about at one point or another, but it's more than just that. Just like it's more than just money. If it was more than just, if it was only penis size, then sure, I guess black men would be, on the top of the dating charts. But it's more than that. Just like if money was all that there is, then Asian men would be on the top of the dating charts. Which, money is important and penis size for women is important, I suppose. um, and, but it's more to it. That's what I'm saying. You know. And as well, tell these desirable, tell these niggas, or rather, these dudes coming through and saying they're the most desirable niggas on the planet and people on the planet and whatnot. I was like, well, tell that to the niggas in China who are getting racially profiled. I don't see them Chinese women coming through and talking about leave our nigga alone, leave it alone. I don't see that happening. Our black kings are everything. No, I don't see that happening coming through. They going along with they men, So yeah, you gotta think about that shit too. So I say all of this to lead into another subject, which is black women and interracial dating. And this, I'm gonna put this question out here for you. Do black women have the option to opt out of Blackistan? You know? Do black women have the option to swirl? Do black women have the option to get on the no nigga diet and live a nigga free lifestyle for the rest of their goddamn life if they wanted to? Do you think that's true? And I asked this because this came up yesterday in the comment section of one of my videos. And it was, a discussion between a black man and two black women about this situation. I kind of chimed in for a quick second and just posed the question to the black man who was speaking. And I asked him, like, basically, do you think that black women have the option to opt out of Blackistan as an individual and as a collective, or as a collective, either or, right? And, he responded in mass, no, he doesn't think that black women have the option to opt out of Blackistan. Basically, to swirl and, leave the black community and all that stuff, right? And, just a little bit of background information about him, from what, I know. Like, I've, been familiar with him for a while. So, a bit of background information about him. He himself is not a swirler, as far as I know. And it's black women only, as far as I know. And he dates the shade spectrum of black women, light skin, peanut butter, brown skin, dark skin, And he has a kid. I believe that his son is grown at this point now, at least above the age of 18. Probably, yeah. Probably maybe around, 22, 21? Around that age, I suppose. And his son, as well as the mother of his son, are, all dark skinned as well, So I say all that to sort of give some, backstory on, the man who is saying this, right? Not to be shady or anything, but sometimes it's good to have some backstory and some information when it comes to situations like this. And the women I'm not really sure about because I'm not really familiar with them, as much as I am with, the guy who was posting. But during the conversation, he kind of said something to the effect of like, most black women aren't Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. Most black women are Lizzo and Lonnie Love. And because of that factor and probably some other factors as well, Black women can't opt out of Blackistan in mass, right? And, I have heard this sentiment from other black men as well. And honestly, I do believe that even black women, to an extent, have this sentiment. They may not express it, but I do think that they may have it in at least the back of their mind. Some black women, at least, right? And I'll give my personal take on this situation. Do I think that black women, generally speaking, have the option to date out? I do. When it comes to dating out, though, I think when black women are looking to date out, I think they're looking to date up in a sense, right? I don't think they want to deal with the same level of non-black men that they're dealing with black men in the community. So I think when black women are dating out, I think that they're looking for a come up, for lack of a better word, right? a, a good situation, right? Or at least a better situation than they got with black men, right? If you're gonna be struggle of, then they're like, well, might as well just struggle with black men, right? Probably a lot less work, a lot less stigma, etc. Right? If you just really just in the struggle of shit, right? So generally speaking, I do think that black women can date out, but as far as dating up, I think that's when things start to really come into play, for lack of a better phrase. Do black women have the option to date up? I think that they do. I think that certain black women do have the option to date up. I think that some black women do, and then some black women don't. But in all fairness, I think that's across the board when it comes to women, though. Like, there's some white women who can kind of like date up and date really well, and there's some white women who can't. Same with the Latinas, the Asians, etc. Right? So I think that's across the board, right? And I do know that when it comes to beauty standards, I think that the beauty standard isn't really in black women's favor, but still, I think there are black women who can do well in the interracial dating scene, if you want to call it that. But I do understand that I think that if black women as a collective are looking to date up and out, I don't know if that's going to happen, just because of competition. The competition is fierce. It's, like the competition is fierce out there. And not to say that no black women can compete, because there are, but I'm just saying, like, ultimately it comes down to this. Are black women as a collective ready for prime time? I personally don't think so as a collective. As individuals, I do think that there are many black women out there who are ready for prime time and who have gone into prime time and are the highest rated thing on television, baby. All right. Another thing that came up was like feeling like black women have to date out in a sense of in order to sort of boost their own desirability, and also to show black men that they aren't to be taken for granted. That they aren't here because they don't have options. Like, and to show black women and other people that black women do have options. And I do think that that is important, because when people, just generally speaking, when people know that you got options, people do tend to behave a certain way. Like, for instance, like your job. Like, if you knew that you could not be replaced on your job, you would probably would act a certain way. But you know that you can be replaced on your job. So you tend to make sure that you do a good job so that you will not be replaced, right? But if you knew you couldn't be replaced, all right, whatever, right? You'll be acting a certain way and probably and it'll probably show, right? Just like on the flip side, where it's like certain businesses, right? When there is little to no competition, the services or the quality of services and goods from those businesses can sometimes lack. On the flip side, when there is competition, it's like, oh, we got to make sure this product is up, and this product or good is good to go. We got to make sure we provide good customer service. We got to make sure we give good deals, so they can come, spend your money over here versus over there. Right? Generally speaking, so I do think that there is some truth into options influencing how other people react to you and treat you. Um, and speaking of options, and black women having options here and all that stuff. Um, so did y'all see the video that the queen of colorism, and colorism discussions on YouTube posted, right? And I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is going to ruffle some feathers. This is going to stir up some shit. This is going to shake the table, god damn it. But yeah, so this YouTuber, who's extremely popular in the colorism sector of YouTube and pretty much leads the colorism conversation, she posted a video of black women and non-black men, primarily white men, doing like this sort of challenge, this social media challenge thing. They're like, showing their ring and, showing their white husbands proposing to them and, things like that, right? And it was like a video about between 1.5 to 2 minutes, showing pretty much black women getting wifed up, right? And I'm like, uh-oh, they gonna come for you. They are gonna come for you. All right. They gonna call you an agent. They gonna say that you have been sent here to sabotage, kill, and destroy the black family. God damn it. Right. The black family that the black community don't give a fuck about until it's convenient and fits a particular narrative, right? Because, folks don't really give a fuck about the black family until, it's, like, oh, what about our black family? We gotta preserve the black community. We gotta preserve our melanin magic, baby. Right? When it's convenient, when black women are swirling, then all of a sudden the swirl agenda comes into play and everybody. That's the thing though, when black women do it, like everybody got something to say. Right? But I don't really see all of this outrage when black men are doing it. Not nearly as much, right? And even in the comment section of the video that she posted, it was some black women in the comment section of these like, I ain't down for the swirl. These white men ugly. These white men don't know how to dress. I ain't gonna be no swirler like these. There was a few comments like that, right? And I think for black women, I think this is a part of the reason that black women are sort of in the situations that they're in, as far as like being perceived as having no options and being treated a certain way in a black community. Again, I think that is just something that I think some black women are trying to, address and deal with, but there's pushback not only from black men, but more importantly from black women on this, where it's like it becomes self-sabotaging after some point, right? And I think that's just a situation that black women, especially black women who are darker skinned, are going to have to deal with in terms of trying to find ways to get those women off the team somehow. Because those women, I think they will end up sabotaging you at one point or another. You know. And I do think that mediocrity is a comfortable place for a lot of Black women, and not to say that swirling is automatically exceptional, because I don't want to give off, a vibe like that. And I think sometimes when Black women are talking about hypergamy and leveling up, sometimes that's the vibe that can be given off, and that's definitely something that's worth discussing. But I think that Black women, to an extent, are comfortable with mediocrity because I think it's easy and it's familiar, right? Even when it comes to discussions about leveling up and, um, like leveling up, like losing weight and getting in shape, um, styling yourself a certain way, um, practicing hypergamy, you know, the buzzword of the year, right? There is pushback on that from other Black women. And it's one thing to just be like, well, that's not for me. It's one thing to be like that, but it's another thing to really kind of like have a strong pushback on it, though, right? And as well, Black men are seeing things play out too. And, Black men want exceptional Black women and just exceptional women in general. So it's just a lot to take in. And it's like, well, are the dating issues really coming from, Black men being color struck, which I think there's a segment of that to be true. Or is it because Black men don't have options to choose from that they think are good? Perhaps. Maybe because they color struck, or maybe just because the options for them just aren't good. I don't know. Shit. But in fairness, I don't think that most Black men date interracially. If we want to talk about issues of colorism, then perhaps we can talk about that. But even then, I don't know if those women who are dating the colorist niggas are really winning all that much, you know. But I could go on for longer, but I'm going to bring this video to a close. But thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.